Greetings to the video on getting your Texas Instruments BAII Plus calculator set up. The first thing you may notice when you see this video is that the appearance of the calculator may be different from the appearance of your calculator. The buttons might be shaped differently or bigger or whatever, but it doesn't matter except for appearances. All the buttons are the same and they do the same things. If you notice, the functions on all the buttons on your calculator are the same as what they appear here. Well, the first thing we want to do is change the number of decimal points appearing in the display. Right out of the box, the display typically shows 2 decimal places. Well, a lot of our calculations involve more than 2 decimal places, so we're going to want to change that. If you notice on all of the buttons, or most of the buttons anyway, there are functions above the buttons that I call uppercase functions. Well, we want to use the format function. To access these uppercase functions, we first click on the second button right here, and then we're going to come down here to this decimal key and click on that to access the format. When we do that, you should see this in your display. DEC equals 2, decimal places equals 2. Well, let's change that to accommodate the maximum number of decimal places the calculator can handle. So come down to 9, click on 9, and then up here to the Enter button and click on Enter. And then you'll see DEC equals 9. Make sure you have the equal sign showing, or what you typed won't register. Once that's set, we can clear out the display and show ourselves that, yes, it will give us more than 2 decimal places. So if we do a simple calculation like 1 divided by 3, we can see that the decimal point floats to the maximum number that the calculator has. If we have a different type of a calculation, say 25 divided by 100, it'll show us the number of decimal places that we need for that one, or 1 divided by 8. But it will expand up to the maximum number allowable by the calculator. This will give us much more flexibility in doing what we do later on. The next button we want to focus on is this IY button. Okay, so I'm going to clear out my display and come up to this IY button. And what this button does, what it refers to, we'll cover later in a later video. But we want to adjust this PY setting on the button. So it's an uppercase function, so first I go to second, and then I click the button. And I see PY equals 12 in mine. Now there are a variety of different ways this button can be used, but we want this setting, P/Y, not to be 12. We want it to be 1. So I'm going to come down here to number 1, click on 1, and then Enter. And I see the equal sign, so I know what I typed registered. Now, a lot of these buttons bring up menus of things that we can scroll through by using these arrow buttons. So I'm going to scroll down here to CY, and we want this to also be 1. If it appears as 12 or any other number in your calculator, change it to 1 the same way we did before. Click on 1 and then Enter. Once we get those set, we can clear out the display. We're back to the default display, and we're done getting things set up and we're ready to go. So that's all for this video.